Do you have an update in regards to Captain Powers Johnson? Do you anticipate him practicing this week after this season?
Yeah, I would think he would be. I don't know that haven't been given the word yet, but he's had plenty of time now, so we should be able to be all right.
And as for Brock Powers, do you expect him to ramp up a little bit more this week in terms of practice?
Yeah, we like he only practiced on Friday and Friday practice, and that's. I think you could see we were just trying to get him out there and get him playing, and he looked okay, and so we got to him in the second half more. But we really need we need him being active throughout the game.
You mentioned some of the decision making by Gino on some of the interceptions. When you went back on and looked at the tape, did that sort of affirm what you thought?
He took shots. Yeah, he took shots, put the ball up, try to give the guy a chance. Make the play. Dante and Jacoby and they defended him more. They were back there. In retrospect, it looked like it was really difficult to be hopeful, and he was trying to make something happen.
Pete, when you have a quarterback that's as talented as Gino, who has some gunslinger in him, how do you balance taking risks but also being cautious? Because it's almost a duplicitous role.
Yeah. Well, that's what we experienced with the guy, and trust. I know what he was thinking, and I know the shot they took, and he threw a ball that was catchable, possibly, but it was a challenge, and so a couple of them came up, and they made their plays, and they did a nice job with it. So I'm not going to slow him down, taking the shots instinctively are there for him, but we will evaluate, and if there's a better option, let's not give them their option to get football from us.
The challenge of a short week going across the country?
Yeah, it's happening really fast. So as soon as I'm out of here, I'm on the run. And we all are. Tomorrow in the meetings, we'll do a Monday and a Tuesday, Monday and a Wednesday meeting schedule. So we'll get through Tell the Truth meeting. We'll talk about the game, then we'll flip it around, and away we go on the Commanders. We won't just drop this game. There's too much to learn. We're such a new team that there's so many things to learn. We played a championship game against these guys last night. And they're worthy of that, and we're worthy of that. And in that game, a couple holding penalties, a couple throws here, a couple, missing the deep ball, the 60-yarder. Those are enough to lose a football game in the championship matchup, and that's what happened. I thought, And so, a lot of respect to the Chargers. They got a good club, and they're going to win a lot of games. We had our ups, and that's what's frustrating about it. We needed to not, fumble a snap in the red zone. We need not get two holding penalties in the red zone, and we have a lot of confidence in our team, but it's when you make it that hard, you're likely going to be behind it, and so that's kind of what happened.
Pete, were you aware before the game that Tom Brady was going to be in the booth, in the coach's booth last night, or was that something that just happened?
Yeah, I think he was there in the other game too. Was there a game in preseason or something like that?
49ers game.
Yeah.
Could you?
Along those lines, it's kind of caused a little bit of a firestorm out there, and there are people that are, questioning: is it fair that Tom Brady, in his role as an owner and somebody that maybe has some input in the game planning, is also a commentator, goes and talks to other teams? Do you understand where people are coming from there? And
I think Tom's really tried to honor that really strictly, and with all respect, to the situation of concerns like you're talking about, and I think he's been really good. He is not planning games with us. He's not talking to us about anything other than our conversations that we have that are really they're random. They're not set up. They're not structured in any way. And when he knows, he's very respectful of what he does otherwise, and he's of the opinion that he doesn't want to be that kind of a factor, and so he's not.
Pete, there seemed to be some issues in terms of the snap last night, consistent issues. Did you notice that? Do you think that impacted Gino at all?
Well, the one that came off of hit the ground, that was really just Jordan trying to get out of his stance really quick, and the ball hit his butt on the way out, and so it was a missnap. We could be more accurate. Gino's reaching for the ball some. We'd like to settle those down. He's pretty good at doing it, so it's not an issue. But that one bad snap was a real mistake. He got a little over anxious and tried to get out of his stance a little quick, and didn't work out.
How did Ashton's reads this week compared to week one?
He ran the ball well. I thought he hit stuff well, and he went the wrong way on the play, and So that was unfortunate and messes up the whole play. Gino goes this way, he goes that way. He's still getting it. You know, we have ways to go here, and I have no problem telling you that he's going to get better and get more comfortable. He felt more comfortable in this game. He looked good running the football. We need to just get to him more. You know, just like to get another eight or nine snaps to him and get around 20. That'd be really nice.
You mentioned already you got to improve, but would you talk about your offensive line, what you're seeing from it after 2 games, please?
Yeah, well, we're giving us a chance. Yeah, we're giving us a chance to make our plays. It all works together. You know, the ball has to come out when the rush is hard and quick. And sometimes we did that, and other times we didn't. Gino, the reason Gino had a chance to throw some late balls downfield is because the protection was so good. So, but it's a work in progress, and you know, with a cap coming in, you know, in this week, late in the week, that was a little bit of an adjustment for us, and we just have to try to manage that more quickly, you know. And then when you've been together longer, those transitions get smoothed over, and so were they a factor? You know, very subtle, but we definitely can be better. We definitely will, you know, we know we will in time.
From your perspective, is that one of the areas that just takes time on task to sort through? Yeah,
it always has. Yeah, there's so many intricacies about what goes on up front, and it's identification, then the proper communication, and then the execution of it. All of those go hand in hand, and they kind of go in sequence. So for IDing well, and we make the correct calls, then we have to work together, and then we have to execute the physical part of it. You know, so that's different than running around. You know, that's different than other positions, and so it always takes time.
Where do you see the physicality and toughness right now with the offensive line? Is it where it needs to be? Is it still working, like you said, work in progress?
We're trying to be more so, without question. So, you know, like you can see us on defense, you can see how physical we are and how we're playing aggressive and all of that. That's a really good sign for us early on. That means the guys are feeling comfortable with what we're calling, and Patrick's putting them in good spots, and the guys are getting after it. And sometimes when we're not quite right, which there were some times there too, the physicality part takes over. The guy makes a play otherwise, you know, and because he's so aggressive, and that we've seen an aggressive nature in the group come through for us. And so, you know, to play 2 halves here back to back and give up 6 points, that's tremendous play. And we were getting better as the game went on again. And so I'm really excited about that. We got to play off of that, make sure we count on that to continue. I know the guys are feeling it. This is an experienced group of guys, and they're sharing the mentality, and that's a good sign for us at this point. So we expect to continue to let that be a real positive part of the team.
I know the opportunities were limited for Dylan Lowry, but when he got him, he did something with them.
He did well again, yeah.
Does that kind of open you guys' eyes a little bit?
That's why he's on the roster every week. You know, he's playing, and he's exceptional in special teams. And when he gets his chances, he's maximizing them. So he's doing a good job. Yes, the answer is yes to that.
Defensive line, they're kind of all kind of in a lot of different positions, with Lockheed coming in and Adam Butler kind of moving out of position, Max even dropping out of coverage, a lot of rotation. Is that kind of like are you still trying to figure out what you want that defensive line to look, or are you just doing anything to combat the offense?
We're still evaluating, you know, the strengths and making sure that we're zeroing in on that. But yeah, we're going to continue to move our guys. We like the uniqueness that the guys bring, and so we're trying to put them in those positions as much as possible and try to make it hard on your opponent, you know, so they're not certain what we're doing. I think Max played a terrific game again. I think you're going to see he got a sack in that game we turned in on a scramble. Did you guys notice that? Mm-hmm. And that's a sack that Max made. But he also was a factor on the number of plays, you know, and coming from different spots. I really like using Max in multiple ways because he's such a sudden football player that put him on different guys and they have to see that for the first time, and he can make some things happen that other guys don't. So the fumble play, which is a caused fumble too, in my opinion, that he didn't get credit for. It's a phenomenal football play under the circumstances of the game as well, and phenomenal anyway. But I think if we can continue to move him, it really plays to our strengths. So we'll try to keep doing that.
14 snaps for Tyree Wilson. Was that just kind of the nature of the game, how the game played out, or is it still?
They gave us big drives. You know, we had 11-minute drive in the game, and then they come back with 7 or something. There was 7, we got 11. There's not many series, you know, in the game, so it kind of squelches the rotations a bit. But Tio play more. We love what he's doing. He's really growing, becoming part of it, and but if we'd like him to get more than 14, yeah.
Will you talk about balancing developing young players who are going to make young player mistakes? That's natural, and still keeping expectation.
Yeah, well, the expectations that over the long haul this is going to really serve us well, and it always has, and so you do have to struggle through some of the roughness, but in knocking those plays out now hopefully eliminates them down the stretch, and really from the middle of the season on, we should be cleaner and better, and then we'll be have more depth and more guys available to us that can play, and it should help us.
That's good. All right.
Thank you, Pete.